Uh, it so happens in Everest, you get about 4 to 5 such weather windows. Unfortunately, in 2012, we were not able to get that suitable weather. Favorable forecasts were not coming in, and in the forecast there were only two weather windows predicted, and it was also not very clear to us. What happens in there are many teams from all over the world who come to Everest. There were Americans, Britishers from Spain, and there were also teams from Japan. So each country had a team there, and each one had their own weather forecast reports. There are very few Indians who go there. In fact, ours was the first major civilian expedition. Before that, there were some army persons. So, Indian reports were not known to the Sherpa community. And the Sherpas who support these expeditions, they believe more in the Russian and American or British reports. Since many years, they have been seeing those. Uh, so, when I showed them IMD reports, they were not willing to rely on them. I was planning as per the reports I was receiving, and 80% of our reports were accurate. We had that experience. Now, different politics started there. When Summit Windows was about to open, each team started spreading different news. Nobody was telling the true forecast, since everyone wanted to grab that opportunity. I was under a pressure. We were all set, but if we don't get a reliable weather forecast and if we lose the chance, then what? It was a horrible experience. So from base camp, I called up here in Pune, Indian Meteorological Department, Medha Khole. She was the director, and I called her, requested her help, told her that needed correct forecast for next 6 days, and I would be relying on her inputs. But she said that she was not the right person for the mountain forecast, since she was dealing with the sea forecast. We were receiving reports from the Delhi office. She said Mr. BP Yadav will give us the required report. I told her that I was working with BP Yadav, but somehow he was not providing the reports which I needed. I wanted 6 days forecast so that I can plan. He was giving a 2 days forecast, which was not useful. I literally begged her, told her that otherwise our expedition would be over. I told her that the success or failure of our expedition depends on your reports only. Mr. Narendra from our Pune camp was at her office, and then she realized the seriousness of our request, and then she helped me with the forecast reports. And relying on that forecast report, I decided 19th May as the date for summit attempt. Somehow, my Sherpa was not satisfied. He said that I can't believe your Indian reports. You are endangering your team members' lives as well as the Sherpa's lives. We had some clashes. So we had very good relations, but at that point, when we had differences, I told him clearly that he has to listen to us. Otherwise, I will have to speak with his boss, Kathmandu. But somehow then we could settle down. We wanted to maintain the relations, but I managed to force him to listen to me. Then we left. So I was under a pressure that, what if we lose this chance? Then something happened. Everyone had got a report about 19th May. So everyone started around that time. On 18th May, when my team started at night for summit attempt, they informed me on a walkie that they had left. That was the last conversation. After that, next day morning, they were expected to reach Mount Everest. So if you started around 8 in the night, 6 to 7 in the morning, you would reach. They were moving as per that plan. But conditions changed. In the night, wind speed increased, and they were late. And first member reached at around 9 in the morning. When I got a call on walkie from Tekraj Adhikari, he just told me that we have reached summit. I asked who all are there, and he said he and Krishna were there. Asked him if they all were safe. He said yes, they all were safe. I just congratulated him, and that's all we could speak. And the phone was disconnected. After that, 9 a.m. in the morning till 9 in the night on the same day, I could not contact them. Batteries with each one of them were discharged. Temperature had changed. Wind speed has increased, and every radio set had failed. We had satellite phones, but those were also discharged. There were no communications, and there was a worse situation at base camp. In between, around three, some rumors started floating around. Some Indians have died, some Indians are badly injured. In between all this, the Canadian leader came in our camp and told us that 6 Indians have lost their life. Then the Sherpa in charge was very upset. He asked that Canadian leader if he and his team had any contact. He said no. Uh, all the teams had more or less the same situation. So when he said no, the Sherpa drove him out. If you have not contacted your team, then how can you say that? He did all this calculation. We had so many cylinders, and if our first person has reached at 9, then when will the last person reach? And then the team is most likely to run out of oxygen in the return journey. When all this was going on, at around 7, there were some more rumors that two persons were dead 100%. After listening this, I was under tremendous pressure. That time, my Sherpa, using all his experience, he got to know that some team was able to contact the South Pole. Then he went to that tent and called the South Pole from there and told that Sherpa to go to the Indian camp and help us connect with the team for just 2 minutes. He would give him $400 for that. And that happened at around 9 in the night when I could speak with Anand Mari and got to know that all my team was safe. 8 has reached summit.